I'm James Mowat. I'm the lead designer on Need for Speed Rivals at Ghost Games in Gothenburg, Sweden. So we sat down to look at the question, what is next gen? And it's a question that every team for the last 2 to 5 years has been asking themselves. What is the next gen experience? Everyone has their own answer. For us, our answer was social play. Not simply multiplayer, but social play, the ability to play together and have shared experiences. And that's what got us thinking about, well, what does that mean in a genre that's very, very resistant to online play? And so that got us thinking about how we can bring people together and lower that barrier. And we realized that that's not a feature that's restricted to next-gen consoles, but something we can utilize across the board on all generation of consoles. But it's that thinking that got us there.
Dispatch, we need backup. This guy's getting away from us.
One of the biggest features that we've been talking a lot about is all drive. And all drive is what we consider the feature that will destroy the line between single player and multiplayer. In racing games especially, there's a very big barrier to entry because you look at multiplayer and you go, well, if I'm not the best guy, if I'm not in first place, I'm having a pretty crappy experience. I'm losing. And we wanted to remove that barrier to entry, but also allow that sense of single player progression to be a big aspect in a multiplayer environment. And that's why we've created a narrative system that helps support the context of what you're doing and giving you choice between a number of different goals at any time that allow you to say, all right, I'm a level 4 racer right now, I'm going to go out in the world, I have a goal to, say, win 3 races. And you could be a level 15 cop and you have the goal to bust 5 racers and use 6 spike strips. And those things can all be happening in the same world, even though we're vastly different parts in our progression. And so All Drive allows that sense of, even if I'm not winning, as it were, I'm still completing my story, progression goals, I'm earning and unlocking new things, and I'm gaining those points that allow me to purchase things, especially as a racer. So I feel that even if, oh crap, you beat me, I can still take a lot of those things back into my garage and even switch over and say, okay, we were racing and you beat me at a race, well, I'm going to go back and switch to a cop now, and I'm going to come find you and bust you and, you know, give you a little payback. And so All Drive allows that sense of anything can happen, and I've got my own goals and it's a single player style, but your world and my world are the same and we could overlap and new things, unexpected gameplay can happen on the spot. Part of the world is the fact that it is dangerous, and we've created 2 very different experiences with the cop and the racer. The cops are about more of a slow-paced, teamwork, at your own leisure experience where you may see 5 racers rip by, you don't have to chase them. And you're never really going to be aggressively chased down, so you can kind of relax and explore. But the racers, we've intentionally made it a very tense, consequence-filled experience, so that you can find which one you like best, or even switch back and forth. But a certain amount of balance has been allowed to slide in favor of that sense that you don't know what's going to happen next. Freedom is much more important than saying it has to be exactly like this every time. It's going to be chaotic, and sometimes crazy stuff is going to happen. I like to phrase it as the beautiful chaos of All Drive. It's important, I believe, for the gameplay to allow that more arcadey style of you are potent and able to race and fight right up until the last moment. Otherwise, if you get into the more simulation aspects of, well, you've taken some damage to your left rear quarter panel, and now that wheel's pulling, and now you're going to slow down, and that makes you more vulnerable to being hit again for further damage. It's a very negative cycle. So our damage is great, but it's visual. We don't want that sense of you make one mistake and it's all downhill from there. We want that sense of, oh man, I took a huge hit, and I'm really low on, I need to get my car back up and repaired. I could find a rolling repair shop, fly through it, get back up to speed, but I'm not going to suffer from the damage I've taken. I'm simply that much closer to losing it all if I can't find a way to escape. We made a very conscious effort to say that it's our job to make sure the fan gets the game that they want to play, regardless of which set of hardware they own. I personally, as a lead designer, have no real interest in promoting any one console. I have a big interest in making sure that the player gets the fun experience that they want, regardless of how they're playing it.